Hi guys, this is Erica from Gokce Capital. Now before I begin, be sure to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. In the midst of the city of Jinhua sits one last wetland, and it was about to die. That is, until the architecture firm Turnscape saved it. But more on the award-winning wetland park later. For first, if you are considering a construction project, you may need to use cut and fill excavation. And in today's video, we have the top things you need to know. Number 1, what is cut and fill? Cut and fill in construction is also known as excavation and embankment. It occurs when excavators move and fill in volumes of earth to create an optimal terrain for a building, railway, road, or canal. Here's how each of the component terms are defined. Cut or excavation is material removal. Fill is the placement and compaction of layers of earth. This is sometimes called embankment when the fill creates a raised bed or structure like a flood wall. Number 2, what is the goal of cut and fill excavation? The cut and fill process aims to conserve mass as much as possible. In other words, the cut and fill process is usually planned in a way to keep both the cut and fill masses approximately equal. Number 3, how does cut and fill work? Earth-moving equipment, such as bulldozers and excavators, will remove land from cut locations and transfer it to dump trucks so that it may be moved to nearby fill areas. The fill is then placed in the preset fill locations and compacted with a roll style or plate compactor. After the fill has been properly compacted, a road or structure is often built on top of it. Number 4, let's take a look at an example. So here is a cut and fill project for a road that runs along a slope. First, a notch is cut out of the hillside. The fill taken from this cut is transferred below the flat bed created by the cut. Once the fill has been placed and compacted, the road bed is poured on top. Number 5, how do you calculate the amount of material you need to cut and fill during a cut and fill project? Well, an engineer will do this for you. There are numerous software products that engineers use to map out and calculate the exact amount of material that needs to be cut and filled. However, there are some cases in which a manual method will be required. But again, an engineer should be trained in how to do this. And finally, number 6, are there alternatives to cut and fill excavation if you are trying to build a home on a slope? You should always consult with an engineer to ensure your house is on solid ground, but yes, there are alternatives. The most common is to build a home on piers. This kind of construction will create a small but usable storage space under a portion of the house, making it a sometimes preferable option to cut and fill. But let's return to how Turnscape saved a wetland. The city of Jinhua sits at the confluence of 3 rivers. Where these rivers commingle, there is a triangular patch of riparian wetland. This wetland was degraded, choked by concrete flood walls that were built in an attempt to protect the adjacent opera house from Jinhua's annual flooding. The flood walls deprived the wetlands of water, but also failed to completely prevent flooding. So when the city proposed to construct another concrete flood wall, the architecture firm Turnscape stepped in with a new plan. They had a proposal that would simultaneously save the wetlands, prevent flooding, and expand public park space. The firm's alternative strategy used the cut and fill technique to create a water-resilient terraced embankment. These terraces allow water in, but also slow it down, protecting the nearby opera house and giving the soil time to suck up the floodwater's nutrients. And the water's return revitalized the wetlands, creating a vibrant park over which glide a series of elevated walkways that provide public access even when the area is flooded. Which just goes to show, sometimes it is the simplest techniques that yield the most beautiful results. So what do you plan to do with your land? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. We'll make you a land due diligence expert in just 7 days. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down listings at gokcecapital.com/listings. Finally, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email, call, or text, and we will respond as soon as possible. So thank you for listening, and more to come.